What is up, everybody? Good morning. We are in double digits. We've made it to double digits of the challenge, and I'm so proud of you guys. Gosh, I feel like I say it every day, but what an honor it is to just love you guys through this challenge, to encourage you through this challenge. And so I've been loving it. And I've been getting incredible messages from you guys that you're actually enjoying it. Isn't that crazy? 10 days ago, the thing you were fearful of is now something that you're actually enjoying. And so here is today's prompt, because I have a special guest today. And so he is in the green room eating his everything bagel with cream cheese. And he's going to be here in just a second. But I wanted to give us the prompt. The prompt for today, are y'all ready for it? Is a challenge update video. So you guys have noticed that, oh wow, like more people are paying attention to me now that I'm showing up on video consistently. And so here's what I know. Your people are paying attention. They're paying attention. They've noticed that you started this challenge. They're seeing you on camera every day, and they're beginning to think, gosh, I bet that would help my business. I bet that would really help me. Oh, I know I need to be better at it. And so you, whether you realize it or not, you are encouraging the people around you. So today is all about the update. Jump on camera, whether you do it live, whether you pre-record it, I don't care. And just talk to people. We're at day 10 of the update. We're at day 10 of the challenge. Here's what I'm learning. So I think the powerful points to hit are what I'm learning, what I'm surprised by, and then possibly like, what am I still challenged with? Right? Those would kind of be my 3 points that I would hit. And then guys, at the end, encourage your people to get in the group. Right? As of tomorrow, we have 21 days left of this thing. And so get your friends to come be a part of this. And this will be an area of influence that you will have in their lives from this day moving forward. So that is the prompt. I can't wait to start seeing the videos. And without further ado, I want to bring in, he fell asleep. It's 6 a.m. on the West Coast. Coach Bill. Coach Bill.
What? Wow.
Was that a good cat nap? That bagel
wow.
was.
Yeah, no, I feel, well, bagel nap. I mean, that's sort of how that works, right? Hey, buddy.
Oh, man. First of all, thank you for being on with me.
My honor. Anytime that I can ever share space with you, it makes my heart smile. So glad to be here, buddy.
Well, I love having you. Guys, if you don't, well, all of the lenders that are on here, all of you are screaming on the inside, maybe on the outside, because you already know who Coach Bill Hart is. For the realtors, for my coaches that are in here, for insurance agents, right? Coach Bill is a mentor of mine. He has become an incredible friend. When I met him years ago, I looked him up and I thought, what in the world would this guy want to know me for? Because he is crushing it on every level. And he continues to do incredible things, even at the ripe young age of 68 years old. And so you inspire so many people, CB. And I wanted to bring you on because you represent that age of people that should be running from this.
You bet.
Right? You didn't need this when you started in the mortgage industry, 40 plus years ago. And so I just talk to us about like what your video journey has been like and the impact that you feel like it's made.
You're the only person that calls me CB.
Hope that's okay.
It's great. It's great. I have a client that, and he'll know if he's on this, he calls me Coach Billy, and I called him out on it once. I'm like, dude, come on. And
Billy.
He said, no. I want to be the only one that calls you Coach Billy. So you're CB, he's Coach Billy, whatever it is. I'm just grateful to be here. So I read a book by Gary Vaynerchuk before a lot of people knew who Gary was, called Crush It. his original, I think it was his first book. And in it, I remember sitting on an American Airlines flight to the East Coast with a highlighter, and he was just calling out video.
Yeah.
And the fact that you needed to buy a flip digital video camera.
Oh my.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you even
I
seen one?
remember. I'm trying to remember if I ever bought one of those or not.
It's worth Googling, you guys, to look it up. So it's it's just a little rectangular camera, and it was to shoot video on, because we didn't have smartphones, right? We had PDAs, we had personal digital assistants and Blackberries, and so we needed something to shoot video with, and that's where my journey started. And it was awful. You took the liberty of taking my very first horrible video that I recorded and putting it in your book with a QR code so everybody can see it. So check it out. Yeah, but I think that's important as you start your video journey, you guys, and some of you are beating yourselves up and maybe I'm not going to do this anymore. And man, I just want to encourage you to push through it, because now let me take you from that early moment where my audio, I always do it like this. My audio sounded probably something like this, right? It was really awful, weak audio. And one of the things we've learned is audio in video matters.
Yeah.
Like it does. So, Kyle and I use the same mic. This is the Shure on a boom, and it makes all the difference in the world. Plus I have a very high squeaky voice, and I just have a filter on here that makes it sound better. So it works out so well. But if I were to fast forward my video journey, Kyle, and this is something you and I talked about the other day, the number of people who say to me, I feel like I know you, is just, it's remarkable to me. And from all walks of life. I mean, everywhere. I recorded this, I think. I recorded the video once, and this is just my belief system about my experience with God, and it was called Shoulder Taps. Mm-hmm. And it's got well over 1 million views across all platforms now. I've never had anything like this happen. And so not a week goes by that somebody doesn't say, hey, coach, can I share your video at a Bible study? Can I show it at church? So there's that.
Yeah.
On the business side, everything that you talk about in your book, most of it, you make me better, but most of it I sort of accidentally fell into.
Yeah.
Just me being me on video, and it has changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my career. When I was with Building Champions, before I joined Movement Mortgage 2 years ago, I was the only coach that had started doing this, and you could just see what happened. I built a brand, Coach Bill Hart. I built a brand. From that came a supply of clients, so that I no longer had to work at getting clients. I actually had a waiting list as a result of that. So video for me, I mean, if you ask me about my journey, it's been a climb. Like I started on the bottom rung, and what you see now, much like with your background, like, let me just describe this for a minute. This picture behind me is really big. It's a Peter Lick photograph of my favorite airplane in the world. It's a P-51 Mustang. It was a gift given to me by about 50 of my clients that chipped in. This is a very expensive piece of art. Wouldn't fit anywhere in the house. So we finally realized the only thing I could do is hang it on the bookcase, right? But the blessing in that is every single day, the people that contributed to this see it in the background. Those blue lights are little, let's see if I can pull this over here so you all can see it. They're just little blue LED lights on a tripod. There's just create a little bit of contrast to what's going on in the picture here. And the orange is the opposite of blue on the color wheel. And it creates a little bit of depth. And, I'm a coach. I should read, right? Like, people want to see books. So, between the mic and the lighting, I got tons of lights here to just kind of soften things and create a little nice little glow on my 5 head. Yeah, you understand. There's 4 heads and then there's 5 heads. I got a lot of head there. But my point simply is, it wasn't always like this. And so anyway, that's my journey. I owe Gary V, and I thank him publicly for it. Thanks for calling me out, brother.
Well, and I want you to put well, you don't have to put your coaching hat on. You've worn that hat for many decades. So, you coach some of the top mortgage people in the country for the last several decades. And though their production numbers are unbelievable and their bank accounts look incredible, even those men and women, when faced with doing video, like that becomes their adversary. What do you see even in those top producers like that they struggle with when it comes to getting in front of the camera?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's two things. I think number one is just the busyness and lack of prioritization. Like, yeah, I know I need to do that, but I just don't have time for that. So don't buy that lie. Like, don't buy that lie.
So
The
good.
logarithmic impact when you create video is inarguable. It's inarguable. The way that I describe this, Kyle, see if I can make this happen here. When you and I know each other, you have a box in your head that you call CB,
Yep.
Coach Bill.
Yep.
And when you and I meet someplace and shake hands and I give you the brotherly 3 slaps on the back, right? Like that puts a check mark in the CB box.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about video, same check mark. Same check mark. So when I record a video and I put it out there using your content compounding solution, by the way, because
That's right.
you make me look so much better and I have so much micro content and the message is everywhere and it's like, I will not be ignored. That's the power of video because I can only be one-on-one with Kyle that in that moment, but I can be 1 to 100, 1 to 1,000 on video. So you can't argue with that. The second thing is our internal self-critic, which is brutal. So you guys, as I shave this face in the morning, less frequently than I used to, I see a 38-year-old guy with dark hair and no wrinkles. Why are you laughing right now?
I'm just smiling. I just love this story.
Okay, because I felt like that was going to be rude there for a minute. But it turns out when I watch my video, it's like, oh, I'm my dad, right? I have gray hair and I have wrinkles and I'm an old guy. And you know what? I just have gotten past it. And so, look, you've lost what, 40 pounds in your weight loss journey?
Yeah, well, 110 pounds in my overall, but 40
Holy
most
cow,
recently.
Dude.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay. Did not realize the number was that big.
Yeah.
So for many of you, it's a weight issue and you don't love the way you look on camera. And you say to yourself, well, the camera adds 10 pounds. That's no longer true. That used to be true, with film. Donuts add 10 pounds, right? Like, so just get real with yourself, just get real with yourself. Yeah. Make it an encouragement for you to say, you know what, I need to walk more today. Yeah. I need to eat some celery today, just whatever. A lot of people don't like the way they sound and it's okay because you know what, when you sit across the desk from somebody, when you're hanging out with somebody at Starbucks, you look the way you look, you sound the way you sound. Yep. Be you and just take that inner critic that's on your shoulder and just like flick it off and jump in and don't buy the lie. You are awesome. So you are wonderfully made. Be that person, be proud and run towards it. But those are the two things. I'm too busy. I don't have time for this. And number two, I don't like the way that I look and I don't like the way that I sound.
Well, and what I want people to understand about you specifically, right, is that at 66 years old, when you were supposed to be allowed to be kind of winding it down, right? Like deciding to kind of retire and try, like at 66 years old, when Movement Mortgage started going, okay, we need someone to be our rep, like our brand rep for our coaching. Their first thought was probably, we want somebody young and full of energy. And you know what they couldn't do? They couldn't look past that the greatest branded coach on the planet was a 66-year-old guy that's running laps around all these 35-year-old coaches.
And there's only one reason for that. right? I mean, I'm really glad you brought that up because I tell people that story all the time. I was working for Movement. Well, sorry, let me back up. I was coaching 14 of their top producers. Mike Brennan, their president, had this plan in his head. I didn't know it. I had been talking to Casey Crawford, our CEO, during COVID. We were just, you guys in the South, I think, call it sniffing and circling around each other like a hunting dog. You know, we're kind of trying to figure out who each other was. And what I didn't know is they hired me, paid me a bunch of money to come in and talk to a group of their market leaders, which were essentially like area managers. And at the end of that, they started to recruit me. And, you know, when I sort of stepped outside of myself and looked at this moment in time, like what this is fascinating, because I never thought I would leave Building Champions, and it was not an easy move. That's all story for another day. I bleed Building Champions. When I stepped outside of myself and looked at that, I thought, if I'm objective about this, the only reason this is happening is because I built a brand.
Yeah.
And I built a very high level of awareness. And the vast majority of that was because of video.
Yeah.
And because I show up regularly.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the things that Mike Hyatt, the creator of the Full Focus Planner and arguably, you know, one of the most profound experts on productivity. He just talks about the importance of showing up regularly. If you're doing a podcast, if you're creating video, you can't be sporadic and spotty at it. So that was a lesson from him. But yeah, from the outside looking in, it's like, man, the only reason this is happening is because Gary Vee called me out in his book, Crush It, in like whatever that was, 2008, 2009, something like that.
And guys, this is why I wanted to end this call with that story, because for many of you, we're only 9 days in, now 10 days in today. And I'm already getting messages that are like, hey, I don't feel like my videos are getting enough views. I don't feel like I'm getting enough comments. Guys, it's too soon. Like, we are scratching the surface. Like, your friends, for some of you, you went from literally doing nothing to showing up on camera every day. So the algorithm doesn't really like you yet. Like, Facebook is still trying to figure you out. Instagram is still trying to figure you out. And so do not get caught up in the vanity of this thing. The likes don't matter. The comments don't matter right now. In the long run, they matter and they tell stories. But right now, we're building the muscle. We're creating the habit. We're removing the anxiety. And so stay in it. Stay focused. Go update your people today. And Coach Bill, I love you, man. Thanks for being on with us.
I love you too, dude. One closing thought for everybody, because I'm a coach and I can't help it. Commit to the process. The results will take care of themselves.
Amen.
Commit to the process. The results will take care of themselves. What you're doing with Kyle right now is the right thing to be doing. Don't stop. Push through it. Keep going. You'll be glad you did.
So good. Guys, see you in the morning. And nobody said anything about my hat that says I love nannies on it. That's super weird and awkward. At least it should be, I think.
Good point. I did notice it. Should have called it out. Tell us.
Well, so next month I go to Florida to speak at a national nanny agency convention.
Wow.
And so there'll be like 250 people in the room that own nanny agencies from around the country. And 2 years ago when I spoke, one of the companies was giving this hat out, and it makes sense when you own a nanny agency.
For sure.
But as a 40-year-old man, it doesn't really seem to make sense that I'm wearing this hat. And I wanted someone to say something, and none of you did.
Oh my goodness.
So shame on you guys. Be paying more attention. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.
Later.